Festy Podcast.
Yo, how's it going, my fellow revelers? Welcome back to another episode of the Festy Podcast. I think we're on episode 41, 42, something like that. I mean, this is like the 1 year mark from, when I first started doing this podcast. I gotta say, I think it was like middle of July. I think it was like July 15th or something. So it's like, we're right on the marker. It's super cool. Just looking back a whole year, I've definitely made a couple changes, definitely made a couple upgrades. I've become a better interviewer, better podcaster. It's just crazy what like a 1 year worth of experience can do to you. I'm very grateful to still be in the position where I can be doing podcast episodes and having such amazing and cool guests. I feel like I learn a lot from the people that I bring on. I feel like I feel like the people who are watching and viewing this, I think you guys get a lot of it too. A lot of good information, a lot of insightful stuff too. I know I've brought in some guests that are very informative with some of the roles we play in the EDM world, in the industry. But yeah, so today's guest, we have Emorfik. He's a rhythm bass style DJ producer, more from the New York side. I think he's from upstate New York. He's been traveling a lot, honestly. He's up and coming, so I'm really happy to kind of bring him onto the podcast. It's gonna be really cool for you guys to see this. We talk a little bit about his past events and his future events, and then his upbringing of how he started and stuff like that. Super cool episode. As for an update for me, I will be at Global Dance Music Festival over in Denver. If you're listening to this the day it comes out, I'm super excited. Shout out to my friends that are hosting me, driving me, and all that cool stuff. And then I got Christmas in July, so that'll be next week over in North Carolina. And then shout out to my homies over there that are also hosting me. Honestly, shout out to all the homies all the time for always hosting me. Makes the events a little bit easier. But yeah, that is it. If you guys are listening to this and want to watch the video version is on YouTube. And I just added another link. So if you guys have Amazon Music, I do have this on Amazon as well now. And then yeah, this is on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the good stuff. And then make sure to follow me on Instagram. I have Festy Hub Podcast on Instagram, where I do a little bunch of short clips, stuff like that. And then you're the first one to be updated when an episode comes out. But okay, that is it. That is the intro. Enjoy the podcast. All right, so I'd like to welcome Emorfik to the Festy Hub Podcast.
How's it going, man? How you doing?
Hey, brother. Good having you, man. So me and Emorfik, we have actually never met, but we have a mutual friend, Zach, who I guess is friends with his family. And he was like, dude, you got to have Emorfik on the podcast, man. He's up and coming, this and this. And at the time, I was very clouded because I sometimes you just have so much going on, man. You know how
I feel that.
There's just too much going on. You can't keep your thoughts straight. And when I had a little bit more time, I was like, oh shoot, my month opened up, right? And I was like,
yeah,
this month I was talking to Zach. Zach was luckily on the phone with me. And that's something I'm just looking at people I'm going to get on the podcast for the month because I finally have some open space. And he goes, well, dude, Emorfik, I've been talking about him for months. And I was like, dude, okay, let's make this happen. So here we are. That's kind of how I know you. But for the viewers out there that don't know much about you, if you wouldn't mind just giving a quick intro.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. My name's Emorfik. My real name is Damiano. I am from New York. I am a dubstep / rhythm DJ and producer. And yeah, that is pretty much the rundown.
Where are you living at, you said?
I'm from New York.
New York, New York City or
upstate.
Oh, upstate, the nicer part.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I could live down there. I respect everyone that lives down there, but too crazy for me.
Yeah, I think it was is there a city up there called Ithaca? Is that what thing
Yep,
is?
Yep. That's an hour and 20 from me.
Yeah. So funny story about Ithaca. My buddy's family lives there. He used to live there too. He was one of I think it was my 5th podcast guest. He was in the EDC movie from 2013. But anyways, that kid lives upstate there too. And I've only been to New York, I think 3 times. I don't know.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I feel here is personally, I feel like it is not the best place to live for what I'm doing currently. But I feel later in life when, things, when you want to start slowing down, I feel New York is a really great place just to it's quiet, it's very nice here. But, for the thing I'm trying to do right now, it's kind of
I
you
feel
know.
like I don't know. I feel like Philly is a little bit more poppin'. I don't know that.
That's yeah, for sure. But like, I don't know, like where I'm from, like, I don't know, there's only so many venues that have, they really throw only so many shows when, like, bigger acts come through. So it's just like, it's kind of difficult. I mean, the main reason why it's hard to live here being, doing what I'm doing is like, it's just because the East Coast, it's like literally all the way on the East Coast. And it's like, to fly to California, you literally have to travel the whole, country. So it's a little difficult, but
That is pretty. That's I don't know, man. I also think like one of the bigger hurdles for you is some of the bigger venues in New York. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but are techno and house, right? So like,
honestly, like I feel like I don't know, like I feel like EDM is not necessarily like I don't know. I haven't been to too many. I mean, I've of course been to many shows here, but there's not really. I feel like the dubstep or like the more aggressive style of EDM is definitely not like the more like prominent in this area. Like I feel like it's like a lot of like people here like rap, all that kind of stuff, but I mean, not that I've really heard of any like techno or anything like that around here. I feel like it's more of just like like everything else except EDM, if that makes sense. Like it's just like of course there is a couple of EDM shows, but it's like not like that.
Yeah, I know. Like
not,
in the like Evan Garner, like in was that Brooklyn and the Brooklyn Mirage and like those kind of bigger venues. Like they serve a certain style of people. I mean, I feel like when you're talking about dubstep and you're talking about rhythm and stuff, I feel like you gotta go like Philly and stuff for that.
Oh yeah, I'm like really what I'm talking about is like my area. Like I feel like New York City. I've definitely heard a number of this is definitely a place for dubstep. So I mean, I have never been to a show down there. I hope to. That would be fun, but not like in my area. It's definitely not.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of like rap and hip hop like parties happening in those and you're like your area and stuff for sure. So talk to us about your music. Like, what kind of style do you have?
So I mean, I think that like for me, like my style has been something that I've always kind of just like really like focused on more than everything. So I feel like, I have a little saying that I like to go by. It's called Angry Shit Only. People are they recognize that I've pretty much promoted all across all social media to really get that message across. And I feel like, of course it's just a saying and everything, but I feel like I've taken that phrase and kind of like incorporated it into my music a lot because I feel like, you can of course have like, very angry music, but I try to take it to like the next steps. I have a song that's out. It's called Vicious Tendencies. And there is a lot of, vocals and feelings in it that kind of represent that, I guess, angry feeling. So I guess I would try to like, the music I kind of make is called like angry shit. Like it's just like very, it really presents that kind of like mood and vibe, if that makes sense. Like
if there's a DJ that I guess your music is similar to, what kind of like DJ would you say?
I feel like I'm extremely inspired off, Sudden Death. I love Subtronics. I think the reason why like I get, of course, I get asked that a lot. I always say Sudden Death is because I respect Sudden Death not only because the production style that he has very different, very like out of box thinking, but it's I don't get inspired off Sudden Death because of his music. I get inspired off sometimes I do, but it's the just ideas and branding he has. I feel like the branding behind him is something that I feel like is not even like it's so like insane to me, because people like you're just standing at his Bass Canyon set and he comes out with a fucking deer skull and it's like, whoa.
Oh
like,
yeah, I mean, you're going to Sudden Death show. You're gonna get an actual show. Yeah, you're gonna get amazing music, but I mean, Danny goes there with the intent to just like blow your mind with like an entire show, all the production, right? And it's like, oh, you get stumped and you think like, okay, where do I draw the limits, right? The lasers, the fog machines, the fire, but what like where is that like taste of just it's you, right? So that's where like I think Sudden Death is very different than any other artists is because when you go there, you're gonna get something very specific, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be an actual show. It's not gonna be like, oh man, no one brings out lasers like Excision does, which I get it, but I mean, anyone could really do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I just think like, I respect him so much to where it's like I of course don't want to like, take any. I just want to like, I look at him as a way of like, okay, I see what he's doing and I respect what he's doing. I want to take not a sip. I want to take a direction like that. Obviously don't want to put anything on my face. But I just think it's like the for what he does, I feel like he's inspired so many younger producers or new up and comers like myself to just like try out something a lot different than the normal just DJ set, and I really respect that for him.
So how long have you been? Okay, a couple questions. How long have you been DJing for, and when did you get into EDM?
So well, actually, I'll tell you how I got into EDM first. So I always remember, I kind of remember when I was in the car, I remember the exact where I was exactly. I was just chilling. My brother was listening to Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites or Spirits. I always forget how he says it. It's always forget the wording, but he was playing that song and I was like, what the hell is this? And I grew up listening to a lot of metal, like Bullet for My Valentine, Bring Me the Horizon, like heavy metal kind of stuff, Metallica. And I kind of got the same enjoyment as I did from metal with EDM, and I was like, what the hell? Like this is very new, and it's like, I feel like Skrillex is like, of course, such an original answer, of course, but it's like Skrillex is just like
he brought in a lot of those like emo kids in,
it's a very like, I don't know. I just feel like he did so much more than anyone can even realize. It's like, I just remember listening to that. I'm like, what is this? And how can I get more of it? And funny story, like a year later, maybe I don't, it's fucking fog for me, but I saw him actually live and I was like, I want to do this. This is what I want to do with my life. I've never seen anything like it. And I've never seen people react to such a way to music. And I was 13 years old at a concert with a bunch of 25-year-olds and it was amazing. And I'll never forget it.
How old are you now?
And I'm 20 now.
20 now. Yeah. I remember the first time I saw Skrillex, man, it was actually one of the first DJs that I'd ever like been in close proximity to. I remember, man, I was in his way and he touched me on the shoulder. He goes, oh, excuse me, man. And I turned around. I literally had like, I wouldn't stop talking, but like, dude, Skrillex touched me. Like,
that's so awesome.
These like weird little moments and stuff. Like, that was a little bit more. Now it happens a lot more often than not. And now I've learned to just not be a complete fanboy, but it's so funny thinking of the past and how like that really like you getting touched by somebody really affected me this much, like.
Oh yeah, I could totally understand that. Definitely.
I had a friend, we were at it was his first festival ever, and after the second day he's like, dude, I want to be a DJ. He's like, so he like was he was investing in like DJ equipment, all stuff. Cut into the future, like it never happened, but like it's funny what like a good show will do to somebody to the point where like they're investing in like, I want to become this DJ. It's like the biggest question, man, that I've always asked people is like, why not me? Right? That's the biggest question. It's like, why not you, man? Like, why can't you be the DJ? Why can't you be on stage? I mean, you're fulfilling your dreams now, right? But when you started, when did you actually start DJing, or when did you actually start making music too?
Let me actually, I think I don't remember if it was 12 or 13 when I went to that concert. So I went to that concert, I think when I'll just say 12.
Okay.
I've been doing this around like 8 years now. I started with DJing because DJing, I feel like it's a much easier, start to getting into this kind of stuff. DJing, I feel like it's fairly simple to just kind of like pick up and go. You'll learn, you watch YouTube videos, and I started DJing first, like I said, and then I heard about music production. I'm like, how the fuck do I make shit like this? Like, what is it and how can I do it? When I heard like Virtual Riot sounds, I'm like, okay, like how do I do that? And I after like a year or two of DJing, I finally tried to like make some music for once. I wanted to never quit so quickly in my life. It
Oh.
was so hard. And I was like, what is this? And I was making like these horrible little beats and just like, just pretty bad music. And I, of course, stopped for a pretty long time. And then I picked it back up around like 5 or 6 years ago and haven't stopped ever since.
What is your I guess what is the thing that you look to make like a song sweeter?
So okay, I genuinely I have looked. So I really, when it comes to music, like I kind of try to just think differently. I mean, the when I try to make a song, like when I'm making, like from now on at least, like I feel like I'm always kind of just like trying to like improve even till now. Like I feel like I released the song Try Me. I got a lot of feedback off that because I feel like that song really brings out a reaction in people. Like I saw a couple comments from a show I played a couple of days ago with one of the songs, and it's like he literally told me, he's like, I felt something inside me, then it made me want to like mosh with people. I'm like, that's what I'm looking for. Obviously, I don't want to like hurt people or anything, but like, mosh, go fucking crazy, just like I'm trying to look for a reaction in people because, I know a lot of people's lives can be stressful. I know sometimes people can go through some shit to really make them angry. And like, I feel like when going to like a show like this, it can be a really great stress reliever. You're fucking hanging out with your friends, have a great time. And I just want to make music to be able to just like, reach that emotion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I have a friend, she loves to just incorporate a lot of vocals. I know there are like artists they love to do a lot of the vocals. Some artists like to do a lot of kicks. Some artists like they like to do certain thing with their music. I know like Murata, for instance, right? Like he expects people to mosh. Obviously, it's like you go to a Murata set, you're probably gonna mosh, right? So it's also that expectation now when like, are you afraid of having a set and people expecting a certain thing from your sets, or do you hope that it's always going to be like a different style? Or
honestly, I've been definitely thinking about that. The reason I kind of actually I've been having a lot of talks about the direction with things. When we think of like the angry shit only thing, a really cool thing I really like to think about is with like my music in general, like angry, when you're angry, of course, it's very negative, of course, like you want to mosh with shit, but also another side effect from being angry is like, kind of like sadness. So like I have a side of my music that's a lot softer than, of course, what I main in. So I feel like, I've never really gotten like, I don't know, like people have never really said to me like, oh, what the fuck you playing in this? Like I don't want to, of course, put myself in a box. Of course, scary thing. I really think that even if that happens, I feel like people come to learn to adapt, to accept, like, and if they don't enjoy the direction you're taking, then that's of course just something that sucks. But I feel like with me, I think just the direction, like what people can expect always is just a very angry set, meaning anger in a, of course, angry way, or a, there's going to be some moments where there's going to be, sadness, there, I genuinely, because in my opinion, I enjoy like the more violent side of music. And I feel like that will maybe never change, or it will change. But for right now, I have no intent of changing that. But, I feel like the idea of like where I could take my set is so like wide and different directions, because I could do the soft kind of angry or the pissed kind of angry, or even both, to make everyone happy. So
it always comes out to like, I think like reading the crowd that you're also playing for, right? So like,
I definitely, so when it comes to that, the way I figured it out is, or not figured it out, excuse me, the way I don't got the $1 million answer. I've noticed, I feel like it's not always about the music, obviously if I'm playing, high knees rhythm at a jazz festival, it's not going to go too well. But, I feel like a big problem people will have is just standing there like a robot. People come out to see these artists, and it's like when you're just standing there, just like it's not, the music can be sick. But like, something I do when I'm at my shows is I look for people. I look for people that are enjoying themselves. I look for people that are not enjoying themselves. I've seen a guy at one of the shows I've played, Houston one. He was just like looking off, and I looked at him and I pointed at him. I looked at him and I gave him that moment. There's like 500 people there, and it's like I gave
him feel important.
Oh yeah. Like I looked at him like, yo, like, dude, we're out here, we got to have a good time. And, he lit up, and it was like a really sweet moment. And it's like, even with people who are enjoying themselves, I feel like, just looking at people and giving them a moment can really just like hyping up the crowd, obviously talking on the mic and telling them like, yo, you guys are fucking insane. Like, yo, this is my first time playing in Houston. Like, they're like, holy shit. Like, I feel like it's like, it goes even way past the music. I feel like if you can like connect with a crowd as one, if that makes sense, it goes farther than just what you play, because I could play the most fucking banging set in the world. And I think that, people can still be like, oh, if he's not moving or not engaging with us, it's like, cool. But then again, you have someone like Murata who doesn't say a word.
Yeah.
And just, I feel like he's kind of created a fan base that just knows what to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
it also depends, like the festival, like if it's like a 4-day festival and you're playing on day 4, oof,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, and yeah, it's like, and then again, it's like, I mean, what can you do at that point? Yeah. I just feel like, it just goes further, because it's like, you want to give people a show, I don't want to stand here. I'm not going to go up and I'm not going to just stand there like a robot, because it's like, it's something, people pay this money and people, travel to see you. And it's like, you want to make sure, like, yeah, whatever. If you're not a very, I get people who are socially, they have a lot of, social issues where it's like they're too nervous, which I am, of course, related. I could totally relate to that. But I feel like, just being yourself and showing people how much like fun you can have even on stage. It's like people can really like click with that, and it'll make the show even better,
Yeah, I feel like people have I feel like people can show more energy when it comes to a regular event versus like a festival, because at a festival, it sucks because you could be, oh man, okay, so it sucks. I love festival, right? I'm like a festival content creator. Like I write my life around festivals, but I have to say the energy is always more at the events where the people are just there to just see you, and you're like, you're one of like 3 people on the lineup,
So, and that's another thing. This is like what I feel like a lot of DJs should really do. If it's whenever you're headlining or, doing whatever, it's like, it's kind of like, I don't know, when I was in like Minnesota or Houston, like I gave people, that was my first time playing there. And it's like, most of these people are going to Lost Lands. And, I gave them, okay, like, yo, like, this is what I can do. I hope to see you at Lost Lands. I said to them, I'm like, yo, guys, who the fuck's going to Lost Lands? Whole crowd screaming. And it's like, you can kind of give them like a reason, like, okay, this is who I would like to see at Lost Lands, or
I like
any
that,
festival.
Man. Yeah.
You gotta really like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, when it comes to a show, it's like, if you stand there, what's the difference between, a 300 capacity room versus a 40,000 capacity room? It's like, you don't want to be a robot. You want to give these people a fucking time of their life. And it's like, you just got to be yourself, and, you got to just, work through it and just, show them what the fuck's good,
I want to know if I mean, having a fan base, obviously, are there any things that like fans have ever told you that you were just like, whoa, like thank you, or whoa, what are you saying?
I can definitely say I've been told some things that it's more of like shocking. I played the Loft a couple days ago, and I have had over, I don't know how many times I was told this, but they said that was the best show they have ever seen in their entire life, or that was the best show they've ever seen at the Loft. And I don't know. I just feel like it's like, it doesn't feel real to me, because it's like, I have worked for something like that for so fucking long that I couldn't, I know this is the first time you and I meeting, but if you like, I worked for this, like that, for someone to say that to me, it's like more of like, whoa, like it doesn't hit me like, oh, like, yo, thank you so much, man. Like, no, it's like, yo, what did you say? Like, really? Like, that's so, like, I get speechless. Like at the end of the Loft set, I was speechless. This crowd was loud the entire time. They were constantly engaging with me the entire time. There was no point in this set where I feel like it was boring. like not the crowd, for like me, like I felt good about my set. Like I always feel like, sometimes, DJs.
It's always good, man.
Like I like the crowd, like love, like it was straight love the entire time. Not saying that any of the tour stops I felt like that, but sometimes like, just certain crowds are, definitely more hyped than others, but that, there's been a number of shows when they have just said something to me like that, that it just really makes me like, just, I don't know. It's a very odd feeling. And I'm like, damn, like it literally keeps me up at night. I'm just like, damn, like I really have people out here like that. And it's like, it's a very awesome feeling. And
I hate to like be like the person that needs validation from other people, but it feels really nice.
Sometimes, unfortunately, I feel like a lot of DJs, there might be, some people are not really too willing to say this, but, a lot of people are hard on themselves, including myself. And I feel like, I always strive to be the absolute best I can. And it's like, sometimes I'll overwork myself, which can sometimes take away from the beauty of what you do. And it's like, thank you. And, like, I feel like me, it's like, I always try to make sure like I'm fucking living up to my name. And, like people are about to see a show and I want to make sure that I fucking blast them away. And it's like, sometimes it's like, show day, it's like, you're just sitting there so nervous and it can just take away from it. And it's like, I don't know. It's not a good thing to do. It's always good to just like, it's good to like take time to like really like take in what people have said to you.
Well, also, I mean, think about, I'm sure you go through that process where you kind of think back and you're like, dude, like I spent 8 years doing this to receive these words, and it's like, it means a lot because then like I can't relate because I'm not a DJ and stuff, but I try to put it in my own relations as a content creator, which I wouldn't give up being a content creator for anything else because I love it. And
exactly.
But it's like, you do these videos, or you do this. Like I did a vlog like 3 years ago, and then I have a DJ who I look up to literally tell me that he's been following my YouTube channels for like years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I've been following you for years. And it's like, it's a really cool connection you have with people. I'm like, you don't even know who's following you at this point. It's like, you just know, like, you have all these good supporters.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really need to go into everyone who's like following me, but I definitely would like to kind of like shout some people out. Of course, Hash is someone who I have seen many times and always have really loved his music, and he has been such a nice person to me. He's when I was a little smaller, a little newer, he looked past that and just really, made me feel like, yo, like, he's like, he gassed me up. And I'm like, yo, dude, I talked to him and, I plan on meeting him. I'm playing in Wobbeland soon in Dallas. And, I was like, dude, I'd love to meet you. He's like, absolutely, bro. He's just like, it felt like like a friend, like, obviously, like, I feel obviously he has his life and he's, obviously so, huge and doing his thing, but it's like just the fact that he takes his time out to, act like a, just be a friend. And it's like really sweet. And, sudden death. I haven't had any contact with him necessarily, but he followed me on Instagram and I was like, yeah, like,
awesome,
like, man. Yeah, I'm like I remember I was on the phone with my manager. Actually, so he followed me on Twitter he follows me on Twitter too. I remember when I was on my phone with my manager and we were just talking about something and my heart just said, boom. I'm like, yo, like, I don't fanboy over a lot of people, but I met him once and I was like, my voice was shaking. I don't know. I'm not really like a person like that, but I was like, dude, like, you don't know what you do for me, bro. And it's like,
oh man, like, dude, that feeling wouldn't go away from me for a while.
yeah. I try to, like, I feel like, me, I really try to take in everything because it's like, not that I'm like, ungrateful or anything, but like, sometimes life can move very, very quickly. I just came back from 3 days, 3 shows, and it, moves by very quickly. And it's like, going from that to going home where you're just like hanging out with your brother and it's like watching YouTube. It's like, it's a very strange feeling. And it's like, sometimes you want to make sure to like, just sit back and be like, yo, I really did that. Like, don't forget about that. I feel like another thing, like, people should really just take shit in, even if it's like, a day or two or a week after. It's like, take in what you just accomplished,
Let's talk more about okay, so what events have you done all so far? Event wise, city wise, and then festival wise? Because I don't know all the festivals that you've already done, if you've done any at all.
So I haven't really done anything I played Big Dub. I played a lot of underground festivals, of course, like making it out, just really, starting to like sprout out kind of festivals. I feel like it's kind of funny because my career has only really started to, I guess, like necessarily like take off this year. Everything else before is like, I'm not invalidating it, by the way. It's not been to the scale as it has been now.
There's an escalade and then there's a takeoff. So right, so
yes.
You got an escalator and then you got an elevator.
yeah, pretty much. It's like going from last year to I don't know. Like I've of course played shows and really awesome festivals, and I of course if anyone from any of those events has watched this, I truly thank you. But I feel like this year it's been really like the year for everything to just that new step, the next step to everything, if that makes sense, from last year to not playing Lost Lands or even thinking I'd ever make it to finally playing Lost Lands. So kind of like that kind of mind, like, it's really taken off in that way. But I mean, other than
okay, I gotta cut you off because like before I lose this feeling that I have in this question, right? It's how I want to know how you felt the moment you were told that you were gonna play at Lost Lands.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, I don't know. I always have thought that I don't know. I just never thought think I'd play it. I always feel like it's too good to be true. But like, as this year kind of progressed, I'm like, okay, maybe it can happen. I'm like, I'm starting to do some little big boy things. Like we're out here, we're starting to get 10K, 20K on Instagram. Like it's looking good. Numbers obviously don't matter in some way, but it's like in the end, they're just all numbers. But, it started to become a little bit more possible. And I remember this is why my manager is the best manager in the world.
What's his name? Shout him out.
So his name is John. John is someone who has always told me, he's like, listen, man, you will play Lost Lands. If it's not this year, I guarantee it next year. And when the day happens, I am going to hand deliver the message. I was like, all right, bet. I'd love to see that. He lives in Columbia and also lives in Boston. So, it's a pretty far drive for him to make. So I was like, all right, bet, man. So, I am a pretty big gamer, not unfortunately, but sometimes it takes some distraction, good distraction from the music. So I try to like do it as little as possible when I'm trying to get shit done. But I was playing my video games. I just got a tattoo, so I was shirtless. It was a very just vulnerable moment for me. So I just hear my brother like screaming my name. He's like, Dub, get up here. I'm like, bro, like, what do you want? And my dad says it. I'm like, Jesus, okay. Going upstairs. I have only fucking pants on, no shirt on.
Yeah.
And I walk, and I don't know if you after this podcast, if you go on my TikTok, it's a pinned video. You'll see me walk out, and I have my fists ready. I'm like, yo, someone's like, I know someone's about to jump at me. I had my fists ready, and I walk around the corner, and he walks out with 2 dinosaur balloons, and I knew instantly what that. I look at him.
Oh my god! That's so
and
cool.
I'm like, yo, no. I said this, no, and I'm not that kind of person that's like, oh my god, yeah. Like, yeah. I was more of like, no fucking way. Like my hand was literally like this, like it was shaking. I was just like, oh, like it was a very magical moment for me. I feel like that was a core memory that I will never forget.
Dude, and for real. That's why I cut you off. I just had to like.
Yeah, no, it was a moment that, I did not know how I was going to react. Unfortunately, I wish I could be that kind of person. It's like jumping up and down, but I've learned to kind of accept how I react to things. I always used to feel bad that I'm not jumpy and shit, but it was a moment that I inside, I felt there was nothing that I felt like I was on top of the world.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, you're very similar like I am. It's just like I process everything in my brain, and I'm just like whoaing inside my head the entire time. Like, oh, this is unbelievable.
Yeah,
there's no way. Like, whoa.
And the unfortunate thing, as soon as I heard it, I'm like, oh my god, I have to make the best set in the entire world right now for myself. I had to make it. I have to do it. No, but it was a moment that I will never forget. And I'm so happy that someone was recording it because my face was red, my hands were shaking. And we all went out to dinner after, and it was just a night that was just fucking amazing.
I know Zach's gonna be there.
Oh yeah, and to have the oh my god, the fucking congratulate, just all the messages, celebrating it was so like it was unreal. Just the amount of love. Like of course I wish I got to said thank you to everyone, but there was so many, to hear Zach's reaction, to hear my family how proud they were. It just felt like everything I fucking did just like paid off, and just like,
man, damn, it's so cool to have like your family like be there and stuff like that moment, because like like at least for my family, they don't even know what like really like EDM really is. They just know that I'm in love with it, and that I like I work for a bunch of companies in the realm of EDM. But it's like, I don't even know if I was told I was going to do the interviews for Lost Lands, I'd be like, who do I even tell? Like my followers.
And it's like, I feel like my mom is like extremely involved with what I do. Like she's literally like a second manager to me. It's just, I don't know, just it was more wholesome to see their reaction, because it's like just to her to watch me grow, to watch me, to help me and to do everything in her power. My family, my father, my brother, my manager, especially, like I consider him like a fucking best friend. And it's just like to see them look at me and like, just like, you fucking really did that shit, was more than the, message itself. It's like, damn, like these people are here to fucking like, to bring me out of the, the gutter to where I am right now. It's like, I'm more like
they're
thankful.
They're honestly just like happy to see you progress. And it's funny because like a lot of people who are like watching this, they're like, they want that from like their friends and the people who they consider like colleagues. But a lot of times we have this competitiveness within us that's like, when you see your friend doing well, you're like, fuck, like why can't that be me?
No, my friends, oh my god, I really, I have a good amount of, I don't really have too many friends, after high school. Unfortunately everyone kind of does their own thing, which is is really great for everyone. But my friends, my buddies, they always know when to, might keep me in. I'm not like, they always know when to just make me laugh about shit. They look past that, what I'm doing. Obviously I'm not a fucking famous actor with billions of dollars, but they look past what everything is going on, and they're just like, they know how to treat me like a person, and I know how to treat them like a person. It's like, it's just a nice thing, because it's like, my buddy, he as soon as I play Lost Lands, he's like, bro, I'm going to that shit. And he's like supporting me. And it's like, my friends are going to Lost Lands, and just for me. And it's like, to have that is so amazing. But to all the people, don't have that. It's like, people like that will come in your life, and you just gotta just, wait for it, because you don't want people this like to look at you like just some person, or, just some, famous person, I guess. Like I said, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be around a bunch of people that just look at me as something else rather than just a person, a person with feelings and a person with emotions. And it's like, I don't know. I just don't want to, I'd rather be around people like, like my buddy, he's a car salesman. He's like, we always joke around with each other. He's like, oh yeah, you're playing Lost Lands, I'm selling car, like, just like a good, it's like a good friend, in the end we're joking, but dude, it's like that.
I literally just text Zach something. I was like, hey man, we still working? And literally like after I got the phone with you, and he's like, yeah man, 10 more minutes. I'm like, oh, 10 more minutes must be nice. He's like, yeah man, did you walk around today? Must be nice.
Yeah, no, having people like that in your life is always good.
It is, man. And like I have a friend, he's one of my best friends now, and when we first met to like now, he goes, like when I first met you, like I didn't know who you were. Like I wasn't like clinging on you because like of who you were. And like, I'm like, dude, I know this, like, and it's funny, like the fact that people have to tell you that so that you feel that they aren't like, trying to use you or some shit,
Yeah.
Because the reality is, man, I don't know if you've been used at all lately or at all in general, but like, the more well known you get, the more like people trying to use you.
Yeah, I mean,
bro.
I don't know.
I'll tell you
Well,
this right now. There was somebody who literally used my name to get at girls at like events. He was like, oh, like, because like they're like, oh, you like bass? Yeah, yeah. I'm friends with like Frisky Hug. You know, he's a big like bass like content creator. You're like, oh my god, I know him. You're friends with him. He goes, yeah, we're best friends, dude. Somebody nearby heard that and had to tell me, like, dude, there's some dude like literally saying this stuff at events.
yeah, man. I feel like people I don't know, I feel like some people in life get a little bit too caught up in the clout, and it's like you gotta really keep yourself in check, like egos. You gotta always make sure like you're always in check, because let me tell you something, that's one of the biggest things that I will always try to avoid is I never will treat someone like that, because it's like you know people who kind of just like, I don't know, I feel like people that just treat people differently because of a number on their phone screen are, I don't know, I just highly recommend avoiding that, because that is not a very nice thing to do to someone. I try to always, like, I always look at it like how I would feel if someone just fucking like just said, get the fuck away from me, like I'm not trying to talk to you right now. Like I would be, damn, all right. Like always, like it's respectful, like if I don't want to take a picture, I'm like, yo, I'm sorry right now, I'm just a little busy right now, man. I'd love to after, like, just be like casual. It's like people, or like your situation.
Yeah. It is so hard actually to like take pictures of the people though sometimes. So I was doing a meetup at EDC Orlando, and shout out if you're listening to this, the guy who did this. But like I thought that I could cut across. Turns out there was like this little like lake thing that I couldn't cross across. So I had to go all the way around to my meetup to get to in EDC Orlando. And this guy goes up, he goes like, oh my god, Frisky Hug. He's like, is it really cool if I could just take a quick picture with you? And I'm like, oh, I'm already like 2 minutes late to my own meetup, right? And I'm like, shit. So I pause, I stop, take the pictures, do all that, and then I head out. So now I'm like 5 minutes late and stuff because I don't know how to say no.
Yeah, I feel that. I could definitely see, like, because I personally love talking. I used to hate talking. I can talk for a very long time now. I personally love, after my shows, I just go out in the crowd. I meet people, I get, sometimes it's like, whatever, like some people don't like to do that, whatever, with all these, dangerous things going on, sometimes things can go wrong, but it's like, I just personally like to talk to people, and, I went out after my Loft show, or actually a better example is, San Francisco, like 80 people, like 60, 80 people are surrounding me. And it's like, there could be moments where it's like, holy fuck, this is like, Jesus Christ, like, this is crazy. But, I feel like when it comes to stuff like that, it's like, yo, like these people are like here to see me, and that like they're talking to me right now. And it's like, I feel like when it comes to like an anxiety or like a scary feeling like that, like, I don't know, I just take like, I look at it like, for when it comes to your fans, my manager always tells me, you are forever in debt to them. You will never repay the debt that they give you, and the things that they give you. And I always taken that advice to
wise words
today. Yes. And if it takes 45 minutes to an hour to talk to people, fuck it. Like, it's like, yo, like, let's go to McDonald's. Like, let's fucking go fucking, like, it's like these people, people have told me they drove 5 hours to see me. And I'm like, I'm going to take 2 minutes out of my day to meet them.
Imagine that? Damn.
Like no, and it's,
I can't imagine people driving anywhere to see me. I just feel like I'll just see you at the festival.
and that's the thing. It's like, you gotta, like, that's why I'm saying, it's like, for someone to say that to me, it's like, you gotta let that set in. Whenever you're feeling anxious, just remember like all the good things that are around you. It's like, fuck, today I'm not feeling like doing anything. It's like, maybe like, oh shit, like I didn't get that Lost Lands booking this year.
Yeah.
Or I didn't get that this year. And it's like, someone drove or flew out to see you. Remember that. Like, you got, like, when that Lost Lands day comes, remember that you're gonna have fans like that in the crowd. And it's like, yo, like that's what's up. I feel like that helps.
I one time flew from Denver to Atlanta to see OK, for the night.
Really?
That was it. Like, people are willing to fly all these miles just to see like one artist or whatever, but it's a real thing. I mean, that's got to come with its own glory. I want to talk a little bit more about like where has been like the places that you've traveled to. Like, I want to know like every state that you've been at when you've done these shows, because I feel like you've
I
been
was
traveling a lot.
I kind of like I think around like I don't know. I played. I'm trying to think about like everywhere because like this year has been the start of it.
You play San Francisco, right? So that's Cali.
So yeah, so Cali, Florida, Denver, Chicago, Tennessee, Houston, or yeah, Texas. I know there's like 10 or there's like 13, but I always forget the ones. North Carolina. Damn, I feel like if any of the people that are watching it, I was like, you son of a bitch, you fucking asshole. Dude, I literally went over this list last night. Like, am I this bad? I know around like 10 or 13 states so far. Yeah. So, I don't know, just sometimes because I've played a lot of the same states, so it kind of can get a little confusing to like, you know, the new places. I always just look, fucking Minnesota. I just played there. And Pennsylvania. I think that's all I can do so right now.
How were your last shows, man? And you said you had what, 3 that you just came back from? How were those?
Fucking insane, dude. Philly, that was the start. It was a Wednesday, so it wasn't, you know, crazy packed fucking 1,000 people, but you know, it was the people that came that were so nice, and they gave me all these gifts, and it was a very wholesome, awesome night. You know, people are moshing, and it was a really great. It just made me feel really good that even on a Wednesday we can have a great time. And it's like people look past like, oh yeah, like, well, whatever. There wasn't that many people, but it's like we all had a fucking great ass time.
Though, you know,
exactly. Yeah, no, it was a great time. It was such a great time. You know, fucking shout out to the promoters that had me out there and trusted me in to do that. So, Philly was of course a great night. Then moving on to Houston, I opened up for Shivers. I got to see Yusei Beefalo again. I've met him a couple of times. He's a wicked cool guy. We had a conversation, caught up. Really good to hear from him again. Met Shivers, and he was so nice to me, saying how, you know, he's another kind of like, you know, person who's made it to tell me that I am in the right direction. And it was a very sweet thing for him to say that to me. And it was like fucking awesome. And the fucking crowd there was like, they were ready to see an Emorfik set. Let me tell you, like they were ready. And it's like, there was, you know, I was like the first kind of like person on the lineup technically, but that was obviously the local support, but there was people there to see me. And it was like, holy shit. And there's mosh pits the whole time, and just like fucking amazing ass crowd. And just I talked for like, you know, hour and a half after to people, and it was fucking amazing.
Just like outside of the gate and stuff. You were just like,
I just walk out in the crowd. You know, I just, you know, I feel like people know, you know, that I don't, like I said, I've always thought like, oh, what if there's like crazy people? No, I've always met people that are very respectful, and it's like, I feel like people around me know, you know, if anything were to go down, like I would be like, okay, like, you know, because I trust people.
For me, it's like the thing of like making somebody wait to talk to you. I always hate that part. Like, I don't know how else to control that either.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, you know, some people, you know, won't see the person who's waiting, and sometimes it happens. But I kind of have, I go through a little thing whenever I have multiple people talking. I remember which one I go to next, because you know, this person comes up to me, I say, yeah, I got you next. 3 people come up to me, I'm like, yep, I'm going to them, and I got you. Because it's like, you know, I don't want to keep someone waiting, because, you know, they're trying to have fun, you know, they want to meet someone, they want to say hi, and I'm like, hey, what's up? How you doing? You know, let me get you right next, and that's it. I just feel like having like a good little memory, I guess, to just meet people, like, or the order of people is something to really get good habit in, because it's like, I don't want to keep that one person waiting for fucking 8 years. But fucking Houston was
could have been a DJ in 8 years.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, no, Houston was a night that I will literally never forget. That was so fucking insane and fun, and you know, met some amazing people. But fucking, oh my god, Minnesota, holy shit. I did not expect that many people. There was around almost 500 people there to see me.
Wow.
And I was so nervous, I was like, oh God, give me my water. I was drinking water bottle after water bottle, I last minute, I decided to do, I don't really like to talk about this too much because I want people to experience it for themselves. But sometimes I like to walk out in the crowd with a straitjacket. I have the straitjacket that I wear on stage, but some shows when the time is right, I walk through the middle of the crowd, and it's a very intense moment, very emotion filled. I just remember walking through that crowd, and everyone was looking forward. They didn't know what the fuck was happening, and they turn around and see me, in the straitjacket, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And I have never had a crowd that crazy before. I hope that doesn't come to offense to any other one that I've seen, but they were insane.
I feel like your long hair goes so well with like a straitjacket look.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I almost like wanted to buzz it once, but
don't buzz it. It looks really good with like your straitjacket look and stuff. Oh, and then for those of you that are actually tuning in on YouTube, Emorfik, if you wouldn't mind just kind of showing us the straitjacket.
Of course. So one day I really wanted to get like more of like a brand. Get more of just like a look to me, have something for people to look at and be like, what the fuck is that? And this is the straitjacket. I wear this. I try to wear this for as long as I can on stage. I feel like, we are going back to like, who I get inspired off of, like what I want to do. Like, I just want, like, the reason why I like Sudden Death so much is because he does, he is just a theatrical kind of person. And I really like that. I want to take a direction like that, but of course in my own way. And, with the straitjacket, I feel like it is something that people really are like, whoa, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And, walking through a crowd with this thing is definitely, it gives you the reaction because, you have your arms fucking crossed up and people are like, holy shit.
Have you ever been wheeled? What do you call it? Like
So I wanted to do the fucking Hannibal Lecter style one time, but I was too scared because I didn't want it to hit like a wet spot and me to like fall back, crack my face open.
That's all she wrote.
Yeah, I usually I have just basically had two security guards grab me by either elbow, and that's pretty much it. It's very simple, very effective.
It gets the job done. Yeah, just get you on the stage.
Yeah.
All right, man. What other festivals? We know that you're going to Lost Lands. What other festivals you got going on for the year?
So I have North Coast, Big Dub, and that is it so far that I can say. So,
I mean, well, I'll definitely be catching you at Lost Lands. I will be at Lost Lands. I have been gifted a ticket, so I will.
That's amazing, man! Congratulations.
I'll be going there. Might go to North Coast. I don't know if I can afford a flight over there.
On through flights right now, crazy.
I know. If I get gifted, I don't know. I was supposed to get gifted a ticket for ARC, so I don't know. So I really don't know. I'm an old person kind of guy. I might go to ARC. I was promised a guest list spot there. If not, I might go to just North Coast and see you there. I went for the first time last time. It was great. I could always go again, but the flight situation, man, like these flights ain't messing around, man.
I have to do it for a living, so I totally understand. So like
the jet lag you must experience from New York to California, Jesus. But I mean, definitely we'll catch you one of those three. I hope the people listening here will catch you one of those three.
Absolutely.
Where can people find you at, if you wouldn't mind jotting down your handles?
So pretty much everything under Emorphic. The only one that unfortunately I don't have is, well, I do have it, but it's Twitter. It's just Emorphic _. My other one got hacked, and unfortunately I cannot get it back, but I am trying to. But pretty much everything under Emorphic. I also have a website, emorphic.com. You can find my tour. You can find my music and everything in the middle. So yeah, everything under Emorphic.
Well, dope, man. I mean, this has been fun. I'm really glad to make this happen. And this part's just for the viewers. All the stuff for Emorphic will be down in the description below. You'll be able to just find him way easier that way. And this podcast is available on all streaming platforms to include SoundCloud, and the video version will be on YouTube. And thank you guys for watching. And like I say, every single episode, I will catch y'all at the next one.
Thank you so much, man.